things I noticed about Acts 1:8. It says, "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you shall be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and even to the remotest part of the earth." So, things I noticed right away. The first thing I noticed is it starts with the conjunction but, which required me to go back up and look at verse 7 again, and it tells me that this is Jesus speaking. That's the second thing I noticed. You've got the disciples there with him. Third thing I noticed. So you've got the disciples and Jesus speaking. I went back up and looked at verse 7 since it started with verse and was able to figure out that he was talking about uh, going away. So this is before the ascension. I noticed that as well. So, a few other things I noticed. It is written in future tense. Um, Three, the word power. What kind of power? Is it something not human? The source of the power itself, and I'm looking at my notes too, so please forgive me for not looking at the camera. Source of the power is the Holy Spirit. You see that this is a direct command. You've got the imperative there as well. Direct command to be witnesses, which led me to ask the question, something else to observe. What exactly does the word witnesses mean? Which I also noticed that witnesses is now plural, as witnesses here is plural. So is there going to be, is it just the 12 disciples or is it something else? Also notice that the conjunction and is repeated. So something has to be connected there. Knowing what I know, and again, I'm using my notes, knowing what I know about Jewish culture and history, uh, they did not like the Samaritans at all. So the fact that Jesus would use the word Samaria here is interesting. But he had also already told them the parable of what we know as the Good Samaritan. So, are those connected? Was there any particular reason there that those were connected? Perhaps cultural boundaries. Anyway, um, and again, I'm not going in any particular order. These are just things I noticed as I read the verse. I would notice something, write it down, notice something else, and write it down. So it's just in the order I noticed them. A little earlier, we talked about the command that Jesus gave, you will be my witnesses, but it's also a promise. He's promising something to help them, uh, which defines the Holy Spirit's role to give that power and help fulfill that promise. It's very logical geographically as well. It's a very logical passage. The starting point, home of the Hebrews, was to Jerusalem, then to take it out into the region and beyond into the rest of the world. Uh, and it defines the Holy Spirit's role, reiterates Christ's authority. Giving the Spirit a central role is something else I noticed. It kind of echoes the Old Testament theme of light. I also noticed it's Jesus' final instruction. It is very clear. He has very clear instructions, no gray area there. But that power that the disciples are going to receive is a gift. They didn't do anything to earn that. I noticed that as well. This is a callback to instructions that he had given earlier in Matthew. We often know it as the Great Commission, Matthew 28, 18 through 20. Some people say 19 through 20, but I like to go up to 18, where it says, all authority is given to me on heaven and earth. So this power will be received at a very specific event. It's a very specific passage. Uh, and then I noticed it kind of provides a little bit of continuity between the Old and New Testament here. And the last thing that I noticed is that you need this power. The disciples needed this power uh, for to be able to witness. Otherwise, why would Jesus give them this? I believe that is 25. I hope so. Anyway, I tried to number them, but I think those are 25.